Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's episode of Market Check, brought to you, of course, by Because Bitcoin. A reminder that there is no second best daily YouTube live stream to talk about markets. Welcome, guys. Happy Monday. I hope everybody had a fantastic weekend, has a great start to their week. The market is rewarding your conviction by being here early on a Monday, very early on a Monday morning with another sell-off in the crypto markets, right? I mean, this is back-to-back weeks. We're now starting the week with red days to open. Last week we had the very large Bitcoin, a much larger Bitcoin dump, into 41K. I want to say it was maybe even 40K. It was a pretty big wick. This week, more so continuing to fill that range, to fill the flash dump wick that we had last Thursday. I want to say it was last Friday. But real quickly, before we start covering all that good stuff, guys, I'm going to bug you real quick before we start sharing alpha. We always appreciate when you guys, it's a Monday, so I want to see everybody smashing that like button before we get started. And of course, I'm sure me and Max will bug you again, but we love it when you guys engage and enjoy our content. Happy Monday, guys. Talking about Bitcoin, though, in a little bit more depth, along with crypto, too. I think the probably more distinct difference between this dump and the one last week was this dump was probably much more of a bleed, right? Last week, all occurred in one fell swoop, and then we ranged. This week was... or last week, I should rather say, we carved out a range. We deviated the highs of that range. We had a flash dump in between, and now we have effectively bled back down into range low. We filled that flash dump wick. I think this is the spot you look at if you are of the opinion that Bitcoin is probably going to continue higher. I know a lot of very intelligent people are looking for a deeper flush into 38, 39K. Although I will say, just given the effort that Spot has put in to hold up this level, I mean, there's been a very strong spot bid at 40K. Very, very deep spot bid. And it even goes deep into 38 or 39K. But I would say if we lose this level, you probably get, because of leverage that has entered the system since we formed this range, I think you probably wick a little bit deeper than people would expect. So I would say my bias entering this week, guys, is that this double bottom that we have on Bitcoin, or that it potentially forms some sort of double bottom here. And if not, maybe we do get a real leverage rinse on all these late longs. But I'll be honest, guys, we talked about it last week. FTM painted a very, very similar picture to this a few days ago. And I love the FTM market maker. He's an absolute giga chad. He doesn't subscribe to our service, so we're going to have to change that. But I do think that the FTM market maker is indeed a giga chad. Maybe telegraphing what Bitcoin is going to do this week. And if that's the case, Bitcoin is in the process of putting in its second bottom right now before higher prices later in the week. But we'll see, guys. Moving over to equity land, I mean, a lot of stocks have opened green, just more continuation from last week. But the VIX is at a very, very, we'll call it a critical level. I think the more appropriate verbiage would be that its volatility is at deep value territory at this point. We had a huge move off the low of volatility a few weeks ago. That was a big reason why we went as deep as we did in indices. But at the time being, I do think that the VIX has reached a territory, or volatility rather, where people will start to bid it. So what effect will that have on indexes, on the stock market? Maybe we have just a little snapback. Who knows? Maybe it rises as price rises higher. We talked about the possibility of that occurring last week. I think there are a variety of ways that it can go for indexes and their relationship to volatility. But I do think it's probably going to be a recurring theme, however, that we see a lot of these individual stocks that look really strong continue to catch rotation, both of capital in as well as capital out of indexes, and into those individuals. But let's get to talking about markets, guys. Happy Monday. I hope you guys all had a fantastic weekend. We always love to joke that, hope you didn't spend too much time at the charts, even though, I text these guys during the weekend, and it's, I know they're watching it to some degree always, but happy Monday, guys. How are we doing?
Happy Monday, tell me. Happy Monday, Tommy.
I
Dude, I mean, I try to log off the charts on the weekend, and I'm pretty successful Friday night through Saturday, but
I hear that too.
yeah, but ultimately it's like I just can't stop, I'm just too passionate about the game. So I always tell you guys this, but Sunday night rolls around and I'm like, oh man, like I should just check in with the Discord. I should just check in. I get so excited for the Monday morning call with the Discord, and then the first market check, man. I know you guys watching feel the same way because our viewership on Mondays is always great. Sunday night rolls around and you guys are like, oh man, market check on Monday. I can't wait. Let's go. Can't wait to get to bed. It's like Christmas morning every single Monday. But yeah, guys, look, here's the deal. Tommy already mentioned it, but he didn't explain enough what's about to happen. All right. He mentioned that I'm gonna bug you to like the stream. You guys got off easy because I wasn't here late last week. We're rolling out some new products for Because Bitcoin, and I had to take the day off. Here's the deal, guys. You're gonna get it twice as hard today because I wasn't there late last week. I don't want you to hit the like button. I don't want you to smash the like button. I want you to destroy the like button. Guys, okay, wait, how many people are watching now? We got 40 on YouTube. We got 100 on Twitter. Guys, here's the deal. Okay, it's a Monday. The bar is all the way up here. All right, let's see what we're at right now on YouTube. We get comments all the time. You guys, you can't keep requesting we hit the like button. You're so annoying. Just talk about the markets. Don't hit. We get it. We get it. No, I don't care. You have to hit the like button, guys. It's fuel. You can't drive a car without gasoline. Or I guess now you can with like the electrical cars. But you get the point. You need fuel. You got to fuel the machine, guys. So let's do this. Let's just get this out of the way early. Let's rip this off like a band-aid so we can really dive into the show unencumbered without the badgering that ensues. So guys, please hit that like button. We got 46 people right now on YouTube. We got 21 likes. We need a 1-to-1. Run that up there, guys. Just make sure that you're signed into your account and hit that thumbs up. Guys, the reason we're able to grow so quickly is because you guys hit the like button. If it didn't make a difference, we wouldn't bring it up. It's that simple. We literally just would not bring it up, but it actually makes such a difference. And it's a shame that it makes a difference, but it does. Furthermore, the Twitter crew, you guys are new. We just started bringing this show to Twitter. We got 81 of you on Twitter right now, guys. Let's at least get like 40 likes. All right, let's get half of you to like it on Twitter. Maybe hit a retweet, leave us a comment, let us know a ticker that you guys want us to talk about. But let's get this show on the road, guys. But again, thank you so much for being here. We're thrilled. We are excited. We are ecstatic. Furthermore, but we do need that like to be run up. One more thing, guys. Beyond the like button, if you are new here, this is Market Check brought to you by Because Bitcoin. It's our daily live show. We are live Monday through Friday at 10:55 a.m. Eastern Time. This is the full cast right here. We got Tucker, me, Snorlax, Janet Yellen, also known as Will's Outlook, and Jack. And we basically just cook for 2 hours straight. So make sure that you follow us on Twitter and you're also subscribed here to the YouTube. And we're just going to cook together for 2 hours, 5 days a week. It's basically 10 hours of alpha dump every single weekday. Well, every single week, spread out amongst the 5 weekdays. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, what else is there to really say? We'll bring it up again. We got some more memes for you guys, I'm sure. We'll hit you guys with it later. But Tucker, you seem to be drawing some voodoo lines here, man. And we've been over this, but you can't just draw lines on a trading view chart and expect them to work. Like that's not how trading works. You have to get an MBA.
Make bounce, brother.
No. You have to get an MBA and you have to work on Wall Street for 40 years and you can't just draw a line like that.
Oh, I forgot. Order flow, my order flow packages and whatnot.
Yeah.
Hold on. You also have to trade on Wall Street and pretend you're an economist.
An economist.
Pretend you understand world liquidity and pretend that you went to school for it because you traded on Wall Street.
Yes, agree, Will. Agree. But look, man, I think the S&P continues to trend up here. We've been saying for a long time, bull chop into the end of the year. Since like back here, right? Like this, I would assume we just do something like that. And Will, that kind of tracks with what you were looking for with a higher high, setting that higher high and then running back that 2001 to 2008 fractal of it's higher
All
high
the way back
Goldilocks,
down,
bang, and then whatever, right?
and
Like
then W out, and then rip.
yes, maybe there you go. Is that better?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I think it looks good for upside. I don't know if that necessarily caps price, but
Do you think it
Tom
makes sense to do like a fib extension if we do end up
from
breaking out
there.
to all-time high? Yeah, you know what I mean? With like meme coins and stuff, we're always doing like the 1.618, 2.618,
Yeah.
trying to kind of prospect where a breakout might be.
Yeah, I do. I do
And I
indeed.
legit thought that we would move up a lot slower than we actually have. Like this upside is absolutely insane.
Is that because you're a perma bear, Jackus?
That's me.
Just kidding. Jackus has been calling this for a long time.
What's actually pretty interesting is that there is like a support, like pretty decent weekly support just under all-time high that's now been created.
Yeah.
A lower, slightly lower. Like if you take
What
those
in
two
here?
high. Yeah.
Oh, weekly. You said weekly.
Yeah.
Hold on,
Like
no H1 or H4.
No H1 or H4.
No
Yeah.
H1. No H1.
Yeah, that is that's a nice level right around there.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
that's like the big level we talked about at 4,100, right? When we zoomed out on the monthly chart. Remember how we said like there's an insane amount of demand that should help? Well, this seems like this is going to be a new one.
well, there's also
at,
this
at
one.
future.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the prior one, and I feel like this could be the new one at
Yeah.
4,600.
Yeah. I like it. But yeah, the fib extensions are these right here. So you'd have to go 4618 to get to the air mass targets. But
Maybe a silly question for you, but is that fib in log or is that just for like a linear chart? I don't want to just.
it's linear. You want log?
No, that's fine. It's just sometimes because I know we're on crypto charts a lot, it like auto sets to log.
Yeah.
Wait. The log fib extensions are the same in logarithmic or normal mode because they are horizontals.
Is that real? Hang on.
Oh. Wait, are you sure, Jackus?
No,
Wait,
it's slightly off.
Yeah. The fib extension. Well, I don't know what they're based from, but fib extensions needs to be the same, whether in a logarithmic or normal, because you are dragging it as a horizontal. Like you are using horizontal levels, so it doesn't really matter if like it may look differently visually, but it should be still the same horizontal levels.
Where's the extension? I mean, I always use the retracement, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mean to be like a doomer, but I find it pretty unlikely that we get above any of those targets. You know what I mean?
For sure.
I think,
Yeah.
I think I could see the first one maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. You know, but that would require us to basically have a kick-ass 2024.
Yeah.
Which is possible, but I'm leaning more towards like half of next year being pretty solid. And then the other half being
I'm not gonna lie, the faster this moves, the more scared I get. So I'd prefer a cooldown because
you'd want to see
the
that.
volatility is not ideal when it keeps moving at the speed it's moving. Like SPY is absolutely ripping. I know people are like, yeah, that's what you want. No, it's not. Not at the speed we're moving. Like this is an imminent collapse type speed. And I don't mean like in the next weeks, months, but like maybe a year or two.
Let's just have yields continue to collapse and equities continue to moon, and then eventually the day of reckoning will come.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, there's going to be a reckoning to all this if it keeps moving at this speed.
That's what Jim Carson's kind of been talking about. He said mid-January those flows stop and things could get interesting, but
Well, the flow slowing down in January would be good. But go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you out there, Tommy.
No, I think we probably have a little bit longer than mid-January, but that's if we're going to continue at this pace, Will, and just continue blowing off like that in Legacy Land, then I agree with you. I could see the top being much sooner than later, at least like locally. And then I think we have if that does happen, we get a business cycle reset, and the QE is going to start, and eventually it will be bullish, but there'd probably be some pain first.
Yeah. I think you just got to be cautious if you keep up and up and up and up and up. I mean, it's the same thing in 2021. Like, nobody saw it coming because everybody wanted to close their eyes and pretend, right? Let's all play house and pretend we're all happy. We're all a happy family, when in reality, your parents are in the back doing some blow while you're sitting up front watching TV, eating cereals.
Here we go again.
Jesus Christ, Will. We got to make sure we don't do something like this either, right? And like swing fail, right? I think if we do something like that, then it's probably over, because we've talked about this being like a condensed version of these 8 years or 7 years for a while. So I'd say, like, if you see this thing start to swing fail up here, then it's probably over.
I mean, look, brother, here's the deal. Like, when we get above all-time high, I'm going pretty risk off anyways, even if that means I sell 5 or 10% too early. I'm fully expecting, more drawdown or retracing. I don't know exactly when, but I recognize the pattern. Like, there's a half dozen of these examples.
Mm-hmm.
That we can find throughout the S&P's history where, we have a drawdown, we have a recovery, and then the new all-time high serves as, an exit liquidity event, and then we go significantly lower. So, I'm not going to be around too much higher than 5K on the S&P 500.
The trick is, Max, there's no such thing as selling too early when you're in speculation pricing. Right, like, and I try to tell people this all the time. When you end up in price speculation, and you're well above all-time highs, you have to anticipate at least a cool down, right, back into the range. Especially after you've broken through. If you like, say we go, break through 5,000, and we just send to 6,000. I would expect it to fully come all the way back to the top and retest the high before it actually continued through. Just as the biggest FU to everybody, and like the biggest shakeout you would ever see.
Well, yeah, look at this one, Will. Look at this one. You swiped the high, and then you nuked like a lot. Like, you nuked 12% almost, and then you recovered all of that, swept that high, and then it was over.
Kind of looks like Solana, man.
Well, the
No,
funny
it
thing
does
is,
not, Max.
pull up Bitcoin real quick, Tucker. Bitcoin did the same thing in 2021. It played everybody in 2021.
What are you talking about?
The high. So draw a line at the first high. And draw it straight across.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it swept everybody into that play, and then just went into full-on bear market.
That's a great example, Will.
It is. Yeah, it swept, and then it nuked probably more than 12%, and then it swept that high, and then it was over. So if you see that again on equities, it's probably over, right?
You got to watch that high.
Well, all-time highs is always a level to watch, obviously, and all-time low, right?
I pulled a Tommy. I'm sorry.
Damn
I pulled
Max.
I pulled a Tommy. I wanted to show you guys this line. I had to pull a Tommy. Where that joke comes from, guys, is like one time, like 3 months ago, Tommy just like took the screen and he didn't say anything, and we're just like, oh man, he just pulled a Tommy, man. He just stole the chart, and now ever since then we've called taking the chart pulling a Tommy, and it doesn't make any sense because Tommy doesn't actually do that. But I don't know, it just feels right. It's
part of the lore now, Max. It's part of the lore.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the significance of this trend line here. This is an insane trend line because it's so simple. But if you just look at how much interaction we've had with it all year and how it's been working, look at these. Look at these interactions. Once we lose it, we nuke. And then look right here, how we grinded up against it for 5 weeks, finally broke out above it. And now we're coming back in and we're just hanging out, grinding on it again. So such a significant trend line, arguably the most significant on the entire chart. So I'm looking at this and I'm going, I mean, what if we just, what if it's this simple? What if this is the only trend line that you need? What if we hold here? What do you guys think? Does it matter?
I think it's possible.
I think it matters. Yeah, I think it matters. I don't think it matters so much to the downside, like if we lose that, it's over or anything. But
yeah,
I mean, you probably nuke like a few $1,000, but altcoins probably get flushed, but it doesn't matter.
And looking at this too, I mean, if we're talking about CME gaps, I like this scenario a lot. So if we did, dip a little bit lower, fill the CME gap, maybe.
Could be. Yeah, there we go.
What's the rule on trend lines? Once you get a reaction from them like 2 or 3 times, it becomes a lot more of a valid pattern.
Mm-hmm.
And that trend line had more than 2 or 3 touches, so clearly it's significant.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I had it. The reason I noticed it is I had it saved back from like summertime, maybe June, July, and I was going through my old drawings. You guys on here know that I save drawings for like 2 years. Like every single path I ever have, I save it, because sometimes you come back and you're like, oh wait, that actually still is relevant. That's incredible. But yeah, I pulled up that old line and just extended it and was like, we're still dancing around it. This is incredible. So we'll see.
I think this is the easiest trade.
I don't know.
This is the easiest trade setup, man. I mean,
I think you might get like
easy.
You might get 39.8 or something, 39.5, just because then everyone will be like, it's over. Sub 40K Bitcoin, it's over.
Oh, you
and
mean
then
in here?
Yeah, like right there, you don't get the perfect retest, and then it just rips.
I could maybe see this FVG queue getting filled. Right there. It's not even worth it at that point. 2R, not in it for a 2R, man. Not happening. Yeah. I don't hate it, though.
I don't see that perfect retest. Tommy said something this morning in the Discord. He's like, I think if you go down, sub 39, you probably get like 36, honestly.
Yeah. Well, the perfect retest everybody wants is this, man. That's what everybody
No,
wants.
we're past that, man. Everybody wants the top of that vertical accumulation.
Nah, they want 32 still.
No,
man.
they're not getting that.
They want it. I've seen it. They want it.
Where's the point of control from that vertical accumulation if you draw a fixed range?
That's a good
Well, just
question.
looking at the price, my estimate is like 30. Well, I expected higher.
Real quick. All right, we do have VWAP right here. That's nice at 39K. That might bounce, but where's volume real quick? Yeah, that's where I mean, I could, there. Yeah, so I don't know. I guess we didn't.
There is this one. Yeah. There are basically 2, and I expected this one to.
Yeah, 37 is definitely a high volume node, but we're sitting on top of the value area high. So obviously, most bullish scenario is holding this level and going up. But
yeah,
I think 39, just dip under 40. Best case for people looking to buy dips, just because everyone will be like so freaked out that we haven't, we have Bitcoin lost 40K. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This is a scenario I see as most likely, and still confirms my thesis that, which you guys know that I've been saying since the first day we had a dump last week or so. I was saying range between 40 to 45K for the next many days and weeks. And I think that's the case. and then higher.
Zoom in.
Like so far, there is zero indication of the fact that we should be topping here and changing the higher time frame direction. Like zero.
Yep, I agree. Dude, everybody's just so eager to call a top. You know, like
Yeah.
we're so eager to call this top, and I'm like, dude, we are absolutely cruising on the higher time frames, showing very little signs of high time frame distribution. You could make a case for like 4-hour distribution or lower time frame stuff, but like there's not any higher time frame signs of a top here. I'm talking above the daily time frame. I'm not seeing a single one at this point. And everyone's just like, oh, that's the top. Has to be the top.
Mhm.
Oh, we're going to nuke from here. That was your Christmas rally. It's over. Oh, my God. I'm going to bid 25K. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not going to do it. You won't do it. And even if we did happen to get there, you wouldn't do it because you'd be drawing like, oh, we're going to 8K, You
Yeah,
wouldn't
it
do
would be this, man. It would be that.
Yeah. Yeah. You wouldn't do it. You wouldn't do it. Like, you're not going to get your entry. I think I'm open to Bitcoin going sub 40K again for sure. But
Max.
yeah, we're not. It's just people are just so anxious right now. They're so
Guys, we have to entertain, and Max is going to love this. We have to entertain the CME gaps because there are currently 3 around us. Okay, and we are in between of them. There are 3.
Ooh.
If you jump in on the 1 hour or so, there are clearly visible 3 CME gaps, right? And I think we move around these.
Jackus, you know what I'm praying for? I told you this morning in our Discord call. I said I want this one that Tucker's drawing underneath us to be left, so that when we go to like 55K, then we come back and 40K is the retest, and we fill that CME gap like 2 months from now.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Except I would love it like
no, that's a fake.
5
man. I see a gap.
No, only daily gaps, Tucker. We don't.
Jackus wants the 1 hour gaps, man. Yeah, we are kind of capped between these two, but
yeah,
that's a gap. Is there a gap there?
That's a gap.
Obviously, there is a gap.
That's a gap.
No.
Yeah.
What do you mean no?
Yeah, you're right.
Tucker, you're not a true CME Gapor.
Gapor.
Yeah, you don't know what that is. If you don't know that that's a gap, you're not a Gapor.
Yeah, that's French for gap. In case you didn't get that.
French for gap. Yeah.
I myself, I've identified as a CME Gapor for years, man. My pronouns are gap and or, man.
That's your future right there, boys. Enjoy the ride.
That actually, I think that makes sense. Truthfully, I'm not expecting a whole lot of volatility either way through the holidays here. I think it's going to be more of a consolidation, established value above 40K, and then I think the Q1 will be pretty good. But I don't think
real quick.
Like what?
Crypto Pot says, what are the most contributing factors that could cause it to go even higher, even though it's due for a pullback? That's what I think is means there.
Yeah.
On any given day.
You want to answer that?
Yeah.
Well, or is that a question for us?
I guess that's a question that he has for everybody. I mean, what is the reason that S&P is about to break all-time high? What is the reason that EVs are moving into a coiling pattern to break out? What is the reason that there's oxygen? What is the reason that fish live in the water?
There's oxygen.
I mean,
he had to drop the EV shill in there too. Though.
Yeah, he did. Couldn't help himself.
Just casually shilling his bags while answering the question.
Oh, well.
Look. At the end of the day, the reason is momentum and volume, right? Market interest and undervalue. I think that's the most or least complex answer I can give you, right?
Mhm.
And if you can follow those key metrics, you'll do well. You'll do well in these markets. If you continue to look for wars and lower pricing, I mean, good luck. Good luck.
Isaac is still probably within Capo's Telegram group.
I was about to say that. Yeah.
I'm in Capo's Telegram, man. There's a lot of signal in that group.
Is there?
Yep.
Counter signal.
Yep.
Yep.
I didn't.
You didn't
And
say
by
that.
the way, it's actually like if you find somebody that's a really good fade, that's actually more beneficial in my opinion than somebody that gives out good plays. Like
100%.
you can find
I don't know about more beneficial.
dude, some of these guys lose 90% of their trades, and
Well,
they
yeah,
literally give them
that's
out for
true.
free. You know,
That's very true. Yeah.
pretty good. It's the same thing. You remember there was these. I remember what's the example? It was it's actually harder to get like a 0 on the ACT than it is to get a perfect score.
Yeah.
So it's like if you find somebody, if you find somebody that can get a 0 on the ACT, like that's like genius.
That's your guy. Yeah.
That's your guy. To dance around the right answer is extremely difficult.
I know it may have been a little bit facetious what I was saying, but like I feel like people try to, again, I come back to the simple answer: overcomplicate things. Why overcomplicate the easiest trades, right? Why ask why if the momentum is there? It's almost like saying, back when they were saying cars were too expensive, nobody would adopt cars, so horse and buggy would stay in play. That was the biggest fade in the world. Like you gotta
Are
understand,
you
like
that
being
old?
on the
Yeah.
that
Did you fade that, Will?
look. I love history class, okay. But no, the point being in the conversation is knowing when you're on the right side of the trade and when you're on the wrong side of the trade. I can agree that at times things may appear to be on the wrong side, but you got to understand what evolution looks like, right? That's evolving. That's people coming from primates to human beings. And then basically, what a rock make fire looks like. When you're
Will, are you under the impression that like some single cell morphed into a fish and then a million years later that fish crawled out of the water and then like mated with a squirrel and then somehow 10 million years later we're here on Market Check talking about Bitcoin?
look,
Is that your understanding of evolution?
let me say, I don't care what did what or what humped what or what made it with what to
pumped
create
what?
humans. All right. I just know we exist. And I know that there's markets. And I know the easiest thing to look at is liquidity, flows, and momentum. Like if you just follow the simple steps, you don't have to ask why. You don't have to understand why. You don't have to look at, our jobs up or down, our claims up or down. Not saying that claims aren't important, but because I do also look at that. But you don't have to look at those things and say these are my deciding factors for entry, because most people that are looking at those things and saying these are my deciding basically positions for entry, they're buying all time high. That's where they're buying because that's when things will look healthy again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
have no idea what you guys are talking about with this evolution. There are still so many primates amongst us.
I know, right?
Oh.
And they are still humping everyone each day. So.
Who could have foreseen .eth?
.sol.
.sol. God,
We're
I
gonna
need the .sol.
Getting a better top than that, Tucker. Come on.
I know. I just copied the last
Way
one.
that's way too
Go to the Soul Daily, man.
I know. It looks juicy, man.
Tell me that looks like a top.
No, it doesn't. That looks like vertical accumulation. I thought initially it looked like a top on the first stab up, but
That's
now
a
it's
top.
The thing about tops is that they never look like a top until they do. The same with bottoms. Like, who told you that, at 20 we are bottoming and we will go up? Nobody saw that coming. I mean, very little people, but like I'm talking general,
I actually
right?
bought 20K very aggressively on Bitcoin and then it nuked from FTX. And I diamond handed it. And I also had some hedges and stuff, but
No, but Jackus, this is what I'm talking about, man.
Oh, I also had some SOL that I held from like $25 down to like $9 and then sold it back in profit at like 30. Diamond hander.
The fractal here is completely not useful
It's
because
valid.
again, it's about higher time frame context, and higher time frame context is that Sol is just hitting strong resistance. Flip that one, and sure we can continue, but you know it's at really major resistance, and uh I'm just not feeling comfy after all this run up, people getting excited. As always, they take time to create a sentiment. And I mean, once again, I think it can spike higher, make new daily high, but look at the weekly on Sol. It's at completely different point where BTC was on the weekly. BTC wasn't facing any strong resistance.
Oh,
Whereas
Jackass. Oh no, Jackass. Come on now. BTC is way, way more overextended. You could say
Tucker, I think you have a big spot bag of soul.
I
You're
do.
really wanting it to go to 150 bucks. That's what I think.
Okay, look here.
yeah,
Yeah, there's your resistance on Sol. There was your resistance on Bitcoin.
exactly,
Look what
exactly.
happened. Look what happened.
Exactly. That fractal was happening above that resistance, whereas this fractal was happening right into it.
All
I'm
right, that's
just
a fair point.
obviously, and
Beach
look,
ball
look at
underwater.
look at Sol and how much upside there was into this resistance. It's just really hard to push through it after all this upside.
I know. Obviously, if we do like a volatility analysis, Sol's up what 9x and Bitcoin's up like 180%. So yeah,
Tucker's like, if it's not involving profiting my bags, let's not talk about it.
It's pumped a lot, but
Will,
it's pumped a lot,
you just were talking about like a general market going higher, and then you had to throw in your own bags. I don't want to hear it.
this
Sorry,
is
Tommy.
also a good point, Tommy. Though this is
Tommy
a
was
great
going to
point.
cook.
I
Tommy,
know.
I was just gonna say it's pumped a lot, but I mean, I would say the last 3 weeks of Solana price action haven't really felt like an overextension. It's felt more like a slow grind higher into the resistance to me. So I agree, it has pumped a lot, and we could look back on this and it would be like the most obvious top for Sol ever, but just on a higher time frame, it looks like a very slow grind up higher, just waiting. And Sol rallies have typically ended this year with just a super dramatic candle to the upside. So
Oh no.
I kind of think it can happen again. And a big reason why I think that's possible is because there's just so much on-chain activity in Solana right now. There's just a natural float on price.
Oh no, Tommy.
It's hard for people to there literally are not enough sellers yet on Solana to push price lower to the point where it can break the trending market structure.
Tommy,
I think that the Jupiter airdrop is going to be the top for Sol USD. That's the last airdrop everyone's waiting on. That's really hype.
I mean, I agree with that, Tommy. The thing is that at the bottom for Sol, there was nothing happening. It was a shitcoin, it was a bad tag, there was no airdrops, there was no liquidity coming in, nothing. And it moved higher. And now that there is all these things, you have all the reasons why it should move up. People are bullish on it. I'm not saying it cannot continue higher. I'm just saying, we are really pumped into lots of resistance, or like in a really strong resistance here on the weekly. So the context match, people are bullish on it, buying into this resistance. It's just like it's not a point where, like, listen, I am spot long from very, very low prices, so I feel comfy, right? But I'm saying I wouldn't be jumping in here because unless you want to do some H4 trade, but it's really no. This is fucking propaganda.
Right, look, Jackass. I get what you're saying. Like you're saying, like if you're coming in now and looking to buy something, it's probably not the buy, right? But if you bought in a lot lower and you've got solid positions, why sell now? And I think that's solid advice for a lot of people, because I think a lot of people don't understand the concept of what's being said versus coming in and been like, well, I need to buy Sol here. Okay, you're gonna buy for a 70% pump. Enjoy for the rest of the move. Whereas like other people, it's X's for them. They're getting X's off of the move. And a lot of people don't understand the difference between those two. Like when people were in 2021, they're like, man, I wish I could have got that at this price, or man, I could have got that at that price. Well, guess what? There's still lots of those things that exist in the market that you can get at that price. And Soul's not one of them anymore. It's just not. Like you could buy beta, but like you're getting it at that price is over. Like it's done. It ain't coming back. Not at least until after the bull or until after the bull's finished. So I mean, ultimately, the only thing you can do is either buy beta to Soul, or buy something else. And there's lots of value out there, I would say.
Hey,
I'm going
Ethan,
to
are we
I'm
seeing,
going to
like,
steal a screen here and share
The
some.
reason I
alpha.
it's called pulling a Tommy Jackus. It's called
Yeah.
pulling.
Just
the
do
reason
it.
I'm
Just
talking
do
about
it.
the on-chain activity isn't to talk about fundamentals. It's really just because if people are going to keep buying Sol to speculate on Sol shitcoins, there's going to be a natural float on price. And that's a big reason why when the market is sold off, Sol has been able to maintain that trending up, that trending, what looks like a maybe vertical accumulation like Bitcoin had. I don't know. I guess we'll see. But I mean, I'm looking at the on-chain assets for Solana. They are still blowing up right now, guys. Like, I'm not going to show my bags, but we bought one in the Discord last night that is up over like 150% in a day. And this is not one of like a bottom of the barrel Sol shit coins. This is one of the larger ones that's pumped over the last few days and just ran another multiple this morning.
No, Tommy, I think you're completely on point with that point of the conversation. I think it's more about, but you're buying beta, right? And beta makes sense. That makes sense. Buying Soul though is different. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, but you could say the same thing about ETH and Bitcoin. Could you not?
I'm not buying Ethan Bitcoin.
I'm just saying for like the general public will.
Yeah. I mean, everybody buy what they want, but like, there's just better exponentials.
No, for sure. But I'm not buying Sol here, brother. I bought Sol right there. So.
No, but that was the point that Jackus was getting to with the price. Is what I was saying. I'm not saying the trades we're making, because that's trades, right? But if people are looking to long term invest in something, that's where it is in price. It's like I don't know if that's the play from here.
What if the funniest outcome is that the ETH Bitcoin cyclical bottom is in, but Sol ETH continues to outperform it?
The Sol ETH is tearing, man.
I mean,
absolutely tearing.
Soul ETH can do whatever it wants to do, but what's your exponentials?
I mean,
No, I
for
agree. I'm just
regular,
talking about from the standpoint of if ETH has bottomed against Bitcoin, but Sol continues to outperform ETH. And I've seen some people talk about comparisons to past cycles, so I think it's interesting. Like ETH maxis this cycle are the equivalent of Bitcoin maxis in the last cycle, and Solana maxis in this upcoming cycle are going to be the equivalent of ETH maxis in the last cycle. It's a circle of life.
I mean, if you're gonna do a volatility analysis on that, then ETH pulls a 3x from all-time high going to 15K. That's not a bad outcome, right?
That would kind of be pain for somebody like me, Tommy, because I'm anticipating and in a way relying on there being a rotation from Sol to ETH and then back to Sol and whatever back and forth, and having the opportunity to increase my future Sol denominated holdings when, in my opinion, it does inevitably bleed against it. So that would be very painful to watch something as obvious as Sol just not award that pullback for people that are invested in the Ethereum ecosystem. But I could say that.
I don't know what the pullback looks like for Sol USD, but it looks really bullish on the Bitcoin and ETH pairs right now.
Yeah.
Guys, okay, so right now, look at this pullback that we got, and I know it was a different type of scenario. I'm not making any statements that this has to happen or this, because it's all probabilities. But here we had also like a strong sell-off, and then we had like this sort of meme wedge falling wedge, and then we had a breakout, and then just from the bottom it started to go up, up, up. Now new revolutionary attack once again, and you go straight into pretty strong resistance here, right? What happens? Straight rejection. I'm not saying we get a straight rejection because this time is different this time, right? This was right at the middle of the bear market, whereas here we had the bottom accumulation. We had none of that here. So I'm not saying like we are rejecting down straight from here and going to new lows or anything of that kind, but we had this strong run up, just like we had that strong run up here, right, into resistance. And surely we can, maybe we like wake into it one more time, maybe another time, who knows? And but I still think that we need to, and I will stand by this. I'm just not seeing how. Okay, maybe we go higher. Okay, maybe we break through, and that is legitimate that we keep gunning higher. But the more higher we go, the more scary the dip is going to be. I'm just not seeing a scenario where we go like straight from the bear market bottom accumulation straight up. It hasn't. It's not happening. Never I've seen it happen. I mean, okay, there is a small probability of anything happening, right? I just feel it's very unlikely. And the more higher we go from this leg, the more I'm willing to take profits. And I actually took quite a bit and add to the shorts, because I still think that there needs to be, before any bull market, there needs to just be some scary shakeout. And we have not seen that. Okay, we can definitely make new highs here. That's totally possible. This sideways can take a while. Okay, maybe once again, maybe we break through and go, to like 3 digits. Maybe. Cannot rule it out either. I think just this leg itself is pretty overextended. Just this alone, if we take just the meat of the move, basically, it's like 250%, right? Not to mention like basically since the beginning of the year, that this is just crazy returns. And
I don't think it makes sense to invest in SOL up here. I just think from a trading standpoint, it does look like I think you mentioned the time frame earlier in the show, Jack, is like a 4-hour trade type of setup. It does look like it could give a blow off top into the triple digits, and then I think you'd see a pretty serious retracement from there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Jack, is how do you reconcile looking for like $45 SOL with your outlook on ETH right now?
Yeah, basically a rotation here, where like SOL doesn't really pump much with it, right? That's my take, where I think like look at, for example, on what Link has done. And I think, why should SOL be much different? I kept saying, okay, I'm gonna pull out, look at this, right? This was my take from all the way, somewhere here I was sharing it live. Just as simple as buying here and selling here. And everyone didn't care, fumbled the bags here, and some people started to get excited all the way here. Now we got here, and obviously it could have go a little bit higher, but look at that, right? We made it all the way up here. This is the meat of the move that most people were not ready for, and now look how Link is moving. It's really not, and it's slowing while we've seen the rest of the market do really well in November. And Link has really not done much after all this upside. Also, this structure is, to be honest, it's not the best. We had a fake out here. We had a structural break. I mean, surely, I can definitely see upside here. Definitely upside into it. But the question is like what the returns will do. Like, let's look at fucking Litecoin, right? What it's doing. This I know it's fucking Litecoin, but it's not really doing much. And I could see that Sol and many of these don't do much, while ETH, for example, can run. Look at fucking Rune, right? the devs started to make jokes about anyone shorting it publicly, and look what Rune has done ever since. It's not doing much. The structure also doesn't look pretty good. There's this weekly support, and I mean, this is a support, okay? Can still run higher from here. Doesn't have to do this pullback, but I could see, just like looking at this chart, it seems I cannot help the inner feeling that I'm just having a tough time. Where okay, maybe maybe this happens, like surely possible. I could see this too. But it's really tough. It's really tough. I'm gonna lie, but I feel like these coins really did the meat of their move, and now they may not be doing that much. And it would not surprise me to see some deeper problem. I think, looking at Rune, this level seems too obvious, so we probably, like, I initially thought this would happen, but I could see it getting front run, like something like this. Like just completely no level, right? Just like somewhere in the middle of nowhere, we bottom, front run the support, and then higher maybe. I'm just having such a hard time thinking. At least this is a decent sized pullback, to be honest. Like this is something, right? This is how much is it from here? Okay, that's like 30%. That's already pretty decent, to be honest. Like at least I want to see something like this on Sol.
Are you saying like imminently?
I think Sol's had the opportunity to print that structure already, and it just hasn't. And this is why I want to go back to the on-chain activity, because it's less about the fact that fundamentally people are using the on-chain layer to speculate. Well, it is about that though, because people have to buy Sol in order to do that, and it just creates a float, a natural demand on price that has kept it elevated. And when that speculation dies off, it's going to be doubly reflexive to the downside. But right now, it's what's keeping price, in my opinion, just slowly grinding up.
Hey, Kyle on Twitter says, any thoughts on ADA's move over the last couple months?
Okay, I want to show something.
Kyle, I can tell you this. If you're following BB, 25 cents buy, 25 cents buy, 25 cents buy, 25 cents buy for months. It has been said.
We have some Cardano enthusiasts on the panel, but I'm not one of them.
There's one.
There's one. Look, you guys hate all you want. Look at the move. Look at the move.
It's a nice move, Will. I'll give you that. It's a nice move.
Look at this, right? So in the past bear market, it took nearly 800 days for it to bottom during the COVID. This cycle, look at it, 800 days as well, right here. I mean, this is looking pretty decent, and we
look
discussed
at that retest, Jackus. Look at that retest.
This one.
No. Even above, like once it put in that move to the upside in 2019, it retested the breakout like pretty perfectly.
The SEC delays Grayscale future Ethereum ETF.
What?
Future or futures?
Futures.
Ethereum future.
It's fine.
Okay.
I knew if I said the S, I'd have like a major lisp, so I just decided not to. When you're speaking and you like can't get the words out, it's like you're stumbling, but with your words, and you're gonna fully trip and fall if you say a specific thing.
Yeah. I mean, who cares? Like, here's the thing: ETFs are coming. I actually think it's more bullish that we don't get them now, and we continue to just let people wildly speculate on what it will mean when they get approved. Mm-hmm. I'd rather have them be like a sell the news event, truthfully.
Yeah. Well, futures ETFs are usually more bearish than bullish, but
We have futures ETFs for both, don't we?
we don't need more. We definitely don't need Grayscale getting them.
No, we don't.
No.
Yeah, we got the ETH futures ETF, and I want it. Did we get it at the top in 2021, or did we get it in the merge? I don't remember.
Look at this beautiful Fibonacci line.
I think it marked the top, Tommy, if I remember correctly.
It was like the Pico top, right?
I think we went through here on Market Check a while ago and marked every futures ETF for Bitcoin and ETH a while back. And I believe like 60 or 70% of all of them were like local tops or also pretty close to a bottom.
I'm hearing a double marks from someone.
It's Tucker's mic. It's always Tucker's mic.
Oh, it's Max is being loud again. That's what it is. I'll turn it down.
It's this thunderous voice, Tucker. Your mic can't handle it.
Tyreal, not denied, delayed.
Denied. Sell.
If we got an ETF denial handle, would be so gnarly. Oh God,
Dude, it would be insane.
but I don't think that's gonna happen. I think we're gonna get an approval candle, and that's gonna be epic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Doesn't seem like price is reacting much.
Yeah, my assumption is Bitcoin is gonna resolve higher this week, so we'll see what it does down here first.
What is this propaganda?
No, ETH looks good. I was literally just drawing out those wicks too, Jackus. The ETH looks pretty nice right here.
I have no idea.
Great here, man. ETH looks great.
Yeah.
The low sweep or.
Man, I TP'd half of my meme coin at like the Pico top.
Yes, Tommy.
The distributor, Tommy.
I'm not quite Dr. Max, did you listen to this stream? I got a new nickname for Dr. Outlook.
What is it?
Dr. Dump.
Wait, Todd says, Max, I think you were using the wrong mic. What the?
Yeah, good call, Todd. Good call.
It's impossible.
It's Max's fault.
Oh my gosh, he's right.
What?
Wait, does this sound better?
Yes.
Has it been like that the whole time?
Yes.
Yeah.
No way.
Oh, it was
I
Max.
thought it was. I thought it was my headphones.
Dude, I've got this crappy mic that's built into my camera.
Yeah.
So it was using that one instead of this big boy.
Oh man.
I think the background is because Tucker has the mic too close to his.
Yeah, the echo's Tucker, but I was using the wrong mic.
Oh, so the echo was me.
Correct.
Yeah.
I think it's because you have the mic too far away from your mouse and too close to your speakers.
Yeah, you're probably right. I'll move it.
And it cannot be me because I'm using headphones with microphones in them and sound in my headphones.
Look, there's no reason to explaining. Tucker knows who it is. He knows.
But I need the
Yeah.
mic in frame, man. It's got this cool LED. I need it in
Guys,
frame.
this
It's
is
a good
actually
aesthetic to have the mic in the frame, man.
super clean.
It's based.
So real quick, guys, we have 95 people watching on YouTube, and we have 63 likes. Guys, all I request is that there is 30 of you right now. There's 30 of you watching right now that are on YouTube, and you're just a market check enjoyer without actually liking it. All I request is that the remaining 30 of you take one quick moment, just one moment. Make sure you're signed into your YouTube account and hit that thumbs up button for us. Guys, we wouldn't ask if it didn't make a huge difference. Also, speaking of huge difference, Tucker's mic is still echoing, and what he did not make a huge difference. But what you guys can do to make a huge difference is hit that thumbs up button for us, guys. And we just ask, come on over here, enjoy Market Check, leave some comments, really get into it, make some friends. But also while you're here, just take a second and hit that thumbs up button for us. It doesn't cost anything to hit that thumbs up button for us. So let's see if we can run it up, guys. Again, thank you for the support. We're at 75 now. It's certainly better.
I love how Max sneaked in during the like shield, how he sneaked in Tucker's microphone.
Had to be done.
I love how Max actually tries to make something very bearish sound okay. And that's him saying it's okay that we have this many likes.
I'm still hearing an echo, man. Who?
You already know who it is.
It's Will. It's Will now.
No, it's not me at all. Because my mic has been muted most of the time.
So here's the deal, guys. I want you to do this, guys. This is to the team here, not the audience. We're gonna figure out this audio thing right now. You all have this option on StreamYard to go to your settings. All right. I want you to go to audio. Okay, so go to your settings, go to audio. And then there's echo cancellation and there's reduce mic background noise. I want you all to hit both of those on. Okay.
Done.
Echo cancellation and reduce mic background noise.
Oh, look at that. He said done and there's no more echo.
I feel like that should fix it.
Exposed.
I think that's going to fix it, guys. I think that's going to fix it.
I'm exposed, guys.
Tyrell woke up and chose violence today, man. Tyrell's been feisty in the comments today.
Yes.
Yeah. I like the energy, though, Tyrell.
I like it too. It's a Monday. Bringing it.
Oh my gosh, I'm hearing
Yeah, I
that.
still hear the echo. I definitely heard that echo this time. So I know it's not me.
Here's the thing. I don't hear an echo.
That's the problem. That's the problem. You don't hear
All right.
Everybody
I'm
else
gonna
does.
switch my mic to the just the regular StreamYard one, so it won't do this anymore. But
He's
Tucker's
in there.
fancy schmancy light up microphone is causing
there
a
it
problem.
is. There, it's done. It probably sounds worse now.
Tucker just goes, "I'm the only one not hearing the echo."
Look, you're all in an elevator. Somebody rips. He's like, I don't smell nothing.
That's a good analogy, Will. I'll give you that. That's a good analogy.
Will, you're one in a million, man. You really are with those, with all that. Okay,
Guys, what do we think about the top, man? Somebody asked about this.
I thought Alex Weiss had a fantastic thread about this over the weekend. A lot of people love to make fun of him, but he did, before he blew up his stack, he ran up like 7 figures into 9. Like he's a Chad trader. He was basically saying that, his approach going into the bull run was not to try and pick a top. How would you know? And he saw countless traders try to do the same. I mean, if you're framing your opinion on how the market think back to 2020, and I wasn't around for this, so this is just me speculating a little bit. Think about if you're framing the market, like I know Bitcoin as ranging between like 6 to 20K, and one time it touched, or 2 times it touched 3K. When it's trading at like 30 or 40, that's going to seem insane to you, right? Like I never pictured Bitcoin prices to be this high. Bitcoin is trading 50K or Bitcoin's trading 40K. I'm going to sell everything right now. And if you had done that, you would have missed the best part of the bull run. So I think to a large extent, you don't want to try to pick the top, and I'm not going to try to pick the top, but you want to let the market show you where the top is going to be. And as we've kind of outlined on this show, typically that has been in more of a rounding fashion than not over the last like 2 years, give or take. But we are becoming less volatile as a market. And I think the spring 2021 top is a pretty good example of that. After a parabolic run up, we had, I would say in hindsight, like hindsight's 2020. Yeah. But if we were traders approaching this and looking at it on a higher time frame, the Bitcoin top looked fairly obvious about 2 or 3 weeks before that huge crash in May of 2021. So the market will show you its hand, right? You don't have to try and guess where the top is, but I know we all love to speculate on where it could be, right?
I think
You
that's
know-
a great point, Tommy.
You know what
think
I
it's a
noticed,
great
Tommy?
point.
Sorry, Max, you can go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was gonna say I totally agree with. I mean, it sounds like it was Alex Weiss,
Yeah.
but I think it's a salient point. It's an important point. We've talked about this on this show. How many tops and bottoms can you find that are like V tops and V bottoms, where the bottom or topping process is a matter of hours or maybe even like a day or two? Comparatively to, an actual top or bottom. How many can you find where like a true high time frame top has occurred in a short period of time?
I
don't
showed you
know.
on Bitcoin. It was pretty obvious. If you run the RSI against the chart
Well,
pattern,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly my point right there, Will, is that we're not seeing those signs yet. We're not seeing
not at all.
unless the top is in and it's entirely different than historical tops on the higher time frame for Bitcoin. I'm not seeing it yet.
Max, the thing is you had like 6 months, right, to play that trend and understand it was coming to an end based on strength.
Yeah.
And that you could play it, but you had to get out. And I think a lot of people, what they try to do with these markets, I'll give you an example, is they try to play it how they know how to play it rather than adapting to it, right? And you can't play it how you know how to play it, because how you know how to play it only works through part of the run. Doesn't work through the whole thing. So if you know how to bear trade, great. But guess what? We're not bearish. So all your trades are going to go to shit. And so you have to adapt to these markets. And that's the difference, really, I think, between this room of traders and a lot of individual traders, is individual traders are trying to trade how they know how to trade versus adapting to what's going on with the momentum and volatility, and trading the market as it is, right? They're trying to trade in the direction that, or at least in the way that they have been successful in the past, rather than changing. And you have to be able to change in these markets. You have to be able to adapt. You have to be able to move with the market, which means you could be bearish. You could be calling for 12K, and that's okay. When is that okay to call for 12K? It's okay to call for 12K when the momentum is in your favor, right? But the minute momentum shifts, you have to step off that pedestal and switch your position. And if you're not able to do that, which a lot of people haven't and still are struggling to do, you're going to have a hard time in these markets, because you're trying to prove something, in which case that proving something then comes down to you providing liquidity to prove it. And then eventually you just run out of money because you're trying to prove something. Is it worth your funds, right? Is it worth your funds to sit here and try right, even though you've been wrong?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can tell you this: if you told half of these people, and we've tested this, I've literally had to show Matt screenshots of buys and stuff like that because he's asked me, but because he wants to make sure, but but you. If people had to put their money where their mouth is when they call for trades, I bet half of these trades will not be executed. At least on CT, right? On CT. Half of these people that call for pricing, I don't even think they're involved in a trade in the direction they're talking. And if they are, they got in as the move started to dump, threw it on 100x and put $10 in, and then posted 1,000% move.
Yeah, that's true. Jackus, what are you cooking up here?
I don't know. I'm still trying to put everything together, create the right context and bias. It's still weird. Like I could see both scenarios, but I'm very watchful here because these looks sort of like they should be topping, in my opinion. These formations should be topping and produce some scary bounce. it would still like if I simplify this a little bit, like I could still see some deeper pullback, not necessarily from here though. It can it can take a while. I do not know, but
Is Thor a project you're interested in accumulating through next cycle, Jackus?
I don't know. It does look interesting. Both fundamental wise and technical wise.
Mhm.
So could be good, to get it on the dip.
That's actually hilarious that you're bringing up Thor because I was looking at their beta coin earlier this morning.
Oh, the chocolate one? Cacao.
Yeah.
That's how you say it, right?
Yeah.
I was playing that a few weeks ago. I still like it.
I still think it's like verse, and this is exactly what we talked about earlier. This is maybe a little bit over exaggeration, I think we probably don't go that low. I think like this one does make sense to sweep, but I still cannot help it and think that these, like, okay, let me actually give me some clean one. And just look at, like, this really just does scare me. How Link faked a breakout here, then broken the structure. Just super scary, super scary. Now left this gap, right? Didn't retest, that shows weakness. Further downside. I don't know. I'm having a tough time with these. Like, how do they? I'm still pretty bullish on Ether, right? Still pretty bullish on BTC. So bullish on both of these. But Link definitely doesn't look strong here. Like, it looks super weak, and it's really hard to put it together with the anticipated strengths of BTC and ETH, and at the same time with this weakness that I'm seeing in Link, with the fact that Sol is hitting this hard time frame resistance, with Rune looking like, once again, we have seen the team making fun of people shorting.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
At the
That
top.
wasn't smart.
No, that wasn't. But at the same time, this can truly be, just a retest. We could do something like this, Like I could see that one too. And having like this sort of channel that then continues higher. This one's possible too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm pretty bullish on all of these, right? Because we are now. This is pretty interesting, though, right?
This got pushed up so high because of spot bid. Let me look at the flow on that. Spot selling, maybe.
Sorry, guys. Powell pulled me to the side and told me he's printing money next month. So I had to drop for a second.
I think Link looks decent, man. I don't think it nukes from here.
There's still a spot bid on Rune, interestingly.
Tucker sounds like he's across the gymnasium.
See, you guys ruined it.
No, Tucker, you sound better in my opinion.
The
No
daily,
echo, exactly.
the daily on Link looks awful. It looks absolutely awful.
Yeah, I don't know
I
if
would
you
say
come
this
back
though.
past like 9 though.
That looks like the 69K top on Bitcoin right there.
Yeah, it does.
Jackus, look. Can you scroll out on Link though and put it on the weekly? Now, oh, you don't have that much history on there, do you?
I could.
Can you guys something with more history?
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now put it on log real quick. Now scroll out more. Now look at those drives after that drop on that last market.
Which ones?
So 2017, see the drop?
This one?
Yep, and then see how it consolidated at the low, and then it drove, and then see how it so go down to the bottom there, the very bottom, the bear market. No, bear market side, other side. There you go, right there. See how it drove right there to the low, consolidated range, range drove up, and then chopped sideways the knife. So can you, yeah, right where we found support, was the previous high of the previous consolidation range. And
Yeah.
so if you look at where we're at right now and draw a line all the way across to the previous side, so the high of where we are, all the way across, more.
Wait. I'm
more
really
to the left.
confused, Will.
No, so
Will
that
gives the best direction.
You need to be explaining yourself way better,
yeah.
man. Or
Will,
I'm
you,
really
Will, you
The-
need to
the
just pull
yellow
your
box.
chart up, man. Just
Yeah.
pull your chart up, Will.
Just the yellow box. I can't pull my chart up right at the second. So the yellow box that you had there, pull
Yeah.
that to the left. More.
That?
There you go.
That?
Yes. That is where you're hitting your head currently. And I think you'll just kind of consolidate right here where you are. I don't think you come much lower. And this is the same thing Link did last time after the 17 run up. It ran sideways, consolidated the range, ripped well above, and sat there and consolidated much higher, right? And in reality, if we do the same thing again and history repeats, this is ideally where we're looking. We're looking to be here until the bull actually hits. So Link, yes, I think Link will be sideways and choppy, but I don't think it comes down much.
Sergey is dumping on you again.
There is no second best.
That's it.
There really is not. Nobody dumps on
I
their
think-
community better than Link.
Exactly. You entice the new money in, then you sell to them, right, at much higher valuations. That's how this game is played. Just like Tesla. Tesla holders love to distribute to new investors. Hey guys, this is the future of everything. Come buy Tesla. But yeah, so getting into like the range theory, I think a lot of these things that are overpumped are just going to range. In which case, I'm not interested in buying a range right now. I think I'll buy the latter end of the range.
Well, like I'm in you with the candidate. I do think we see higher prices. I think we all are in the same camp. The question is, do we pull back here first? Because it definitely does look so. Like I do not think we go straight up from here. It's just like that's the problem I have right now with the price. I think we pull back first before we go higher, right? And we can talk about.
I don't even know if we pull back. We could literally just play sideways for multiple months and not do anything.
Remember,
Right?
no
No pullbacks, up only. I don't know,
Like,
man.
I,
My experience and history teaches me that it's not that simple. As just going up only. There is always scary shakeouts, always. Like I do not remember a market where there were no scary upsides in a bear market or scary downsides in a bull market. I do agree we are in a bull market, or like we begin one. I like this is pretty obvious accumulation after a strong bear market. I'm just having a
yeah,
hard time looking at this daily structure thinking we go straight up
I
or
don't,
even like
I don't,
accumulation.
I don't think that either, though. I don't know if we go straight up either. I think again, there's two type of capitulation. There's capitulation puke, aka scary shakeout. There's capitulation boring, aka just literally trade sideways and don't do nothing. And then people start selling into the buys anyways because the price has taken so long to do anything in a certain price range.
My experience tells me that we absolutely are taking this slow, and I think even this one. I'm looking at the chart. I don't even know why, but I know that this low is something they will want to take out. I do not know when though. We can definitely like first squeeze a little bit higher maybe. But hard to see it with this daily. Like just something doesn't fit, and I am yet to create the right context here. I can't help it. I just do not see.
Can you point out the halving on the previous move for Link for
The bit
2017 right after the 2020 2021 the halving in between.
it happened in June. I do not remember exactly. June, May, something like that.
I mean, Will, you said something earlier, man. I don't know about a lot of altcoins. I don't trade Link. I mean, I've hit a couple little trades on it, scalps, but I don't hold Link. I don't really care for Link too much. But
Hmm.
you said you don't really know if we're going to get a pullback. We might just kind of range and chop. I largely agree with that for most of the altcoins that I'm seeing. It will feel like pullbacks when they are on the lower time frames, reaccumulating or testing liquidity levels or doing predatory sweeps. But I think it's going to be difficult to get those big entries that people are looking for.
Yep.
And you know what I'm talking about. Big people saying, "Oh, I'm going to buy Link at $8." I don't know if you're going to get that. You'll get some shakeouts on the lower time frames, but I just think it's going to be more difficult to get an entry than people really realize. And I mean that. I think it's going to be difficult. I am in the camp that we have broken out of major 1 to 2 year reaccumulation ranges, and we're going to work on establishing value up at these levels.
Yeah, and believe me, like if we were in a bear market, I'd be like more shakeouts to come. But moving into the halving, like we know how parabolic this thing goes. Like you got to put on your moon hat and your low IQ, and you just got to go with it. You got to fade all the macro talk, and you got to swing the bat. When the ball comes in. Like if you never try Coke, how do you know if what Coke does to you? Like you don't, right? You have
Oh
no
my
clue.
God, man.
So if you're gonna judge people who do Coke, you had to have done Coke at some point in your life. That's just how it works. So ultimately, if you've never traded these markets, right, and all you've done is buy, you don't really you don't understand these markets from like a momentum standpoint, right? The uptrend again from 2020 to 2021 was absolutely just mind blowing, right? The uptrend from 16 to 17 absolutely mind blowing. This is what these markets tend to do. They tend to shake people out at the weirdest spots in the market. But I would say, again, looking at the halving there on Link, it looked like Link traded in kind of an uptrend into the halving and then absolutely tore, right? And that's what I was kind of saying here, because I mean, arguably, I'd say if we were to look at the halving from where we are, I would say we're probably within that rate, that time span of where Link just traded to the upside until the halving and then just ripped.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see it. I could
And
see it.
I like Link specifically because it trades very clean. It trades very clean on these ranges.
Like, look. This is exactly how Lang during the weekly bear market and weekly structure took these lows too, right before making that accumulation. And look here, it broke the structure, went back, went there once, went there twice, 3 times, on the weekly. It took May,
Hmm.
it took so many months. Now look at the daily, right? It's the exact same thing, man. Broke higher, then broke below, and like these two lows just feel too exposed to me.
I feel like that
It,
was a little bit of vertical accumulation though. Like if you look at those lows, like they played up and up and up and then just ripped. And now it looks like it's consolidating.
I feel, yeah, it is consolidating, but is it consolidating before a pullback or before more
Yeah,
upside,
yeah.
right?
Nope. Definitely on board with what you're saying there. I get what you're saying.
Like what I'm seeing is that the market, and remember this, guys, this is how they play. They come back, at some point, whatever, how long this takes, at some point they come back, retest the support. People will scream, hey, clean support, buy. It bounces. See, I told you, bounce, then they create some H4 structure. See, I told you, buy. Then a rip. This is the capitulation phase. It's over. They take the low. This is the buy. They front run the support. Then they make it go and like short. Look at the structure. It's bearish now. They already took the low. They front run the higher time frame support. No longs in the market. People looking to short, and then they rip it higher. Like this is how they play, and I'm just having such a fucking hard time. As much as I'm trying to be bullish here on Link, as I said, it's a bit of contradiction because when I'm looking at ETH and BTC, they're clearly bullish. Both markets, clear bullish structure and everything. And I do not see ETH going lower if it's bullish, right? Link though, and if ETH goes higher and BTC goes higher, so like how does Link behave in that environment? Does it just stays weak and stays here and then waits for ETH and BTC to finish their upside and then pulls back with them later on? Jesus, this is just so hard to put together.
Yeah, well, I mean, I love my favorite chart or my favorite fractal in crypto right now is comparing Link to ETH for its range breakout. That's my favorite. I mean, not even Link ETH, I mean maybe, but more so like putting Link and ETH side by side. But yeah, I mean this chart actually looks pretty good too. Interesting.
So Crypto Pat says, since crypto markets are somewhat correlated to in terms of price or market price, would this coming halving make a difference? I would say Crypto Pat, go back and look at every halving and tell me how if it made a difference.
Yeah, I very much so subscribe to the belief that the halvings have a significant impact on price. It makes sense to me. A lot of people think it's silly, but minor block rewards getting cut in half effectively every 4 years, knowing that miners contribute to a substantial amount of the ask side pressure on the books, knowing that they have half of the amount that they were receiving in the previous 4 years to effectively dump onto the open market. As long as demand remains constant and supply is effectively cut in half, you get these run-ups. So for me, it makes sense. But I mean, I've heard the counter arguments. I don't agree with them. But yeah, I think the halvings play a significant role in these parabolas that happen.
Like Link ETH looks really good, and I'm bullish on it, just like I'm bullish on Sol to outperform the market. So I'm definitely seeing it making a higher low here. Although we do not know how long this pullback takes. How long does it take? Look at how long this leg took, right? So you get the upside, but if now, like you get something like this, right, in here. So let's put it, whatever. What if like now it's going to take this long, till May next year to sort of go sideways? Then it really it does the hard. Like, this could easily happen, just looking at the chart. Look at the timings here. So this one took nearly 400 days. Now, how long does this one take, right? So let's say it's half, right? Still can take, even if we squeeze it out, it can still look something like this.
The Bitcoin always sits multiple days after the halving, and then it blows up. It's called accumulation. Like it's not a difficult process. We can sit there and we can say, oh well, it correlates to markets. Yes, it does in terms of liquidity, but the markets don't touch crypto when it comes to upside. When it comes to traditionals, and Bitcoin extremely outperforms every 4 years. Doesn't matter if it's 100 days, doesn't matter if it's 75 days, doesn't matter if it's 60 days. What you're essentially is saying is that it has to be an exact day within the 4-year cycle for the halving to matter. That's completely wrong. There's no market that matches the other market to a T. Everything can be off multiple days. It can be off multiple months. It has to happen within a certain time frame. That's a 4-year cycle. That's typically how Bitcoin trades, is within a 4-year cycle. So as long as Bitcoin continues to trade within a 4-year cycle, it's 100% related to the halving until it's not, right? Mm-hmm. And if you understood the halving and understood how it worked, then you would know why the halving has such a big impact on Bitcoin pricing. But a lot of people don't know how the halving works, so they just assume that it's some nuance, BS or whatnot that people make up. But I would highly recommend looking into the halving and understanding how it works, and then you'll know why it works why it pushes price the way it does.
This right here looks just so freaking bullish, man. This is crazy.
Yeah, it's perfect.
This is perfect, man. It's like daily sweep onto a huge, like Jesus. This is look at the RSI reset on this one on the daily. Oh man, it's like so nice. Whew. Oof. This is crazy. Look, we finally got to overbought. This shows strengths, right? This is not like sell signal. This is what many people think it is. It's not. This is strengths. Just like here, right? When we finally got like surely we dipped right here, but this was slightly different scenario though, because right here we were pumping straight to fill the CME gap, and then COVID came, right? You need to look at this one though. A breakout, a strength, a retest. Here we also had a breakout, strength, and a retest, right? So we are somewhere inside of this candle in my opinion here. Like maybe you have to allow yourself to be wrong in a time, but like unless we really lose this low, it's just further continuation higher here.
So sorry, guys. So sorry. That was my Eigenlayer restaking alarm.
No, you fucked it up, Tucker. You're gonna make up for it.
I remember I used to have one of those for the not an alarm necessarily, but just like a mental clock around the ohm epics. Or the that's what they were, right? Epics.
Well, now you have it for DYDX epics.
Yeah.
This is exactly what I need to see, man, because I need that reaccumulation, man. We need that.
So wait, so if we're this bullish on ETH, why do you think Sol comes back to $45 while ETH goes to 3K? Like, reconcile that for me.
I know. I think we just see a vacuum cleaner of ETH from the market, really. Like we've seen Sol to just absolutely rip and other coins do nothing. And why should we suddenly see Sol to move up if the others are taking the spotlight? I don't know. But as I said, like Sol can break through and continue higher. It just like I have to pay respect to the structure here. Like this is completely different to ETH where Sol is currently right.
So, Tucker, I'm going to answer that as well. Well, actually, Tucker, I'm going to ask you a question first. All right. Let's assume for a second, just play along with me. Let's assume that you don't have any money in crypto. You are just watching the charts right now. How would you be feeling about Solana versus ETH? Just looking at the technicals, right?
If
you didn't own any Solana or Ethereum.
Am I a trader?
No, I'm asking, like, how would you be feeling about the Sol ETH chart or Sol USD and ETH USD, respectively, if you didn't have any investments in crypto?
But I knew how to read a chart.
Yeah. How would you be feeling?
I mean, in terms of imminent upside.
Would you still be looking at Solana saying, oh, yeah, like, it's just going to continue to rip here against ETH and Bitcoin? Like, it's these, I'm going to ignore a lot of these like higher time frame divergences and also retesting the underside support, because I think that the signs are, yes, Solana could continue higher. We could see $100 Sol or some blow off top. But in my opinion, the signs are pretty obvious that eventually it's going to puke. And I think it's probably going to come after the Jupiter airdrop, because right now the money is so concentrated and focused on Sol because there's so much free money there right now. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean that these, bearish divergences that are starting to form on the higher time frame for Sol USD, and then Sol ETH will continue to be ignored forever. It's just they can be ignored in the short term because there's free money. But eventually we will have these oscillators reset. They always do. Like during the last bull market, look how many, high time frame divergences Bitcoin printed before it finally had a correction. We could have another 2 months of Solana just churning to the upside, printing more high time frame bear divs. But eventually, everything always resets, no matter how bullish it may seem while you're in the move.
No, yeah, for sure. I think if I'm a TradFi guy or something and I know how to read a chart, but I don't own crypto, it's like, and I can look at it and see, okay, clearly Sol ETH is ripped. I do the whole like Bitcoin, SPX, ETH comparison we've done on here 100 times. Like, yeah, it's ETH time, right? And Sol's ripped 10x. Like, if I understand all that, then sure. But if I'm some like noob, if I'm like retail and I look at like market cap and unit cost bias, I'm aping Sol, period. End of story. Plus the airdrops, plus it's easier.
You're aping Sol here at $70 some.
If I don't know what I'm doing, if I'm like truly retail, like that's like
no, but I'm not talking about some goofball with like $500 who doesn't know what he's doing. I'm talking about a guy like you who's got a substantial amount of money, understands what he's looking at from a technical perspective. You don't even have to know anything about the fundamentals. I'm talking technicals. I'm talking airdrops aside, speed, the whole thing, all the bullish Sol arguments right now. I'm talking, you don't know anything about crypto. You don't know anything about the narratives. You're not on CT. You don't follow Ansem. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just talking, you're looking at the technicals right now. You are versed in technical analysis. You would be looking at Sol going, okay, what a rally, but wow, I'm starting to see some signs that this thing is overcooked. It can take months for that day to come, but eventually it will come. It always does come. The technicals never lie, ever.
No, sure. ETH chart, looks better for imminent upside for sure. And Sol could be overcooked here, but I don't think ETH is just going to teleport to 3K and Sol's going to correct 20%. That's not going to happen.
No. That's probably not happening. But what probably happens is that ETH is going to teleport and Sol does nothing in the time, because the money will finally start going into ETH and Sol will just look like a, sad younger brother and not do much, right? He will look at his older brother playing with the toys, and he has to wait until the old brother is bored. That's basically what's going to happen. By the way, look at this, man. This is pretty insane. So this is just basically a daily 200 EMA band, right? 200 daily moving average band. Oh, actually not exponential, just basic, right? And then look at it, right? This was the bull market. You get the sell-off, bounce. Then you get the bear market, right? Bear market. Then you get the sort of breakthrough, right? The first breakthrough. So here we had the bounce and prolonged bear market, whereas this was rather shorter. Obviously, there are the differences in timings. But then you get the breakthrough, just like here, and then you get the sell-off, right? So we got the sell-off here too. We got under the 200 MA band once again. So we did get the same here. And then you get the breakout. And we have to acknowledge the fact of the timings difference. So like this one to this one before the breakout took way longer than here, right? This was shorter. So there was a still opportunity for the COVID, right? But unless we are like expecting some COVID final sell-off, look at the timings, right? 553 days from the bottom. This one took 553 days from the bottom. Look, this is right here. It's right here, right?
Mhm. Yeah, no, I'm not like bearish Ethereum. Like I own a bunch.
I know.
Like, you know, but
no, this wasn't about the bearish side of Sol, like, or anything. Just simply talking about ETH and like how good it looks, man. Like this reclaim right here.
Fantastic, yeah.
It's absolutely look like it needs to teleport to 3,600, man. Like it does, and that's why I have such a problem seeing looking at Link and Sol, like it doesn't fit together and it pains me, right? I do not know, like, and the best, like, we all have very good arguments. What Will talked about, very good arguments. What you talk about, very good arguments. Like when you say, Tucker, how is ETH teleporting to 3060 and Sol not teleporting? And my best case explanation right now is that ETH is really just going to drag that liquidity out of everything and just teleport. ETH ecosystem shitcoins will pump with it, but those are very low percentages market cap, like the actual percentage allocation of the market of ETH shitcoins is not that big, right? So I think ETH, like the most likely scenario is really that ETH and partially BTC just takes the liquidity away from Sol and Link and Rune and all of these, in my opinion. And it's not that these other coins dump at the time; they probably go sideways or maybe slightly higher. But yeah, I think lots of people could be in disbelief as they expect Sol to go higher than ETH, and maybe that's the different time.
No, yeah, I could definitely see the Sol ETH pair correcting for sure. It does look pretty good right now, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Just look at the distance where Sol is versus its 200 daily moving averages. That's pretty insane. Like look, every time the market gets out of, like, the market is all about balancing itself, right? It's trying to find a fair value, and each time it really disbalances itself from a fair value. It then tries to go back and find, like it overshoots usually on both sides, on all time frames, right? And
Yeah,
even
because
we've
what's the percentage distance away from that moving average? Can you take a measured move? I'm curious at the what percentage are we away from that moving average?
I mean, look what happened the last time we were that far away from that moving average. It kept going up. It just did.
Type in like distance for moving average. I bet there's an indicator.
Guys, if you know some distance from moving average, this one could be.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. But you might have to set the moving average. So go settings on the indicator and do the 200. That's the one we're looking at, right? 200 close, EMA or SMA. I don't know which one you want to do.
Healthy territory.
I mean,
93%
Hey,
away.
hey, Hagrid, could you pull up that chart I just posted in the Discord? I added you in the staff chat
Sure.
because I'm trying to show champs like the crypto follows the 4-year cycle, not the stock market, and it's really freaking weird. I get it, but I'm gonna show you a perfect example of that.
Jackets is on the screen right now, Will, so you can.
Oh, or jackets if you can grab that. And post it on there.
What do you want, Phil?
It's in the staff chat in the Discord. The image I posted.
Oh yeah.
You probably
yeah.
you could probably just Control C it and Control V it on the screen.
Oh, you want me just okay.
Yeah, sorry guys, I don't have my setup right at the moment. But if you look at the lows here, so this is the stock market, this is SPX, this is Bitcoin. You'll see that Bitcoin hit the low and continued trading up. What happened to SPY in that same time frame?
made a new low.
Wait, well, you actually took a phone photo of your screen and not an actual screenshot.
Oh, that's all. He always does that.
That's what Will
It's
likes
a
to
little
do.
chopped
Man.
up.
That's secret alpha, Jack. Is you don't know about that yet.
It's the secret to getting correct clicks and likes. But but as you can see right there, like this is Bitcoin trading into the halving. This is the stock market trading into the halving. Did the stock market perform well trading into the halving?
Are you asking us, or is that
champ? No, I'm asking you guys. No, champs,
Okay.
it's perfectly okay. I just wanted to show an example. That's all, just so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So I would arguably say in this image, the stock market underperformed while Bitcoin continued to outperform going into the halving. And don't get me wrong, like I get that people look for correlations a lot of the time and stuff like that, but there's a lot of ways to find that things don't correlate quite the way people think they do. And that if
like,
you just
you
play
always
the halving, it's easy. But go ahead.
You always need to respect the chart levels as well. That's I agree with that. Like you cannot just look, okay, so SPX here is above new all-time highs. That means BTC will go to new all-time highs, right? Always need to respect the levels too.
Yeah, take everything as a grain of salt and take everything level by level. And if you're trading into the halving, I would say you're benefiting pretty well. And then if you're trading out of the halving, then at that point, I understand the the want to be out. But you can see Bitcoin traded sideways for a bit there. SPY continued to get completely annihilated before it actually ripped. So SPY actually lagged Bitcoin on this one by quite a bit.
But we also need to see that actually let me pull these side by side. Because I think like once again, it's a tool, but not something to. It's a tool, but not something to pray to. So if we look at weekly.
And just so the audience knows, I'm never ever trying to banter you guys. Like that's my intention is not to piss you off. It's to help you understand. That's all.
Okay, whatever. So I think it's like the correlation is still there on the upsides, right? Like there was a serious series top here, blow off top on SPX, and there was also series blow off top on BTC, right? And then like SPX starts to go sort of sideways, and BTC goes through its bear market. And then, for example, look at COVID, right? There was this big sell-off, and then you get the upside. But what differs is that right here we were topping on BTC, and what happened? We got the bearish structure all the way up, like inside of this, and then there was the miners. So we have to pay like the China miner, like half of the hash rate of the world was moving away from China at that point. And what actually, like, you have to actually pay respect to what is happening within that market that's affecting it, right? Whereas it, like SPX, during the time, it had a no scary drop like BTC had, right? Like it did not drop 50% or anything here, just continue to rally higher. But then look at the top, right? They come around the very same time, and SPX goes through the bear market, and well, BTC goes through the bear market too. Look at these upsides, right? There's the bottom of bear market for BTC, and there is the bottom for SPX, and then there is this upside crazy, right? But then BTC stops and goes through. So I think like
Yeah, but your performance downside is significantly less on Bitcoin than what it was on SPY. Like you formed a new low on SPY, whereas Bitcoin formed a higher low.
oh yeah, that's
That was more the portion I was pointing out. I know the highs were very similar, the tops were very similar, but there's times when Bitcoin will outperform, and I tend to look at the halving as that time frame. We don't have to say the halving is the reason. We don't have to say the halving is the godsend for everything, but we can say that time frame is where you need to be looking at Bitcoin and looking at crypto.
yeah, this is definitely a great point, and I was mentioning that many times too. Well, that this is what I call a intermarket divergence, where one market makes lower low, but the other makes higher low, and then the one that makes higher low is the stronger one and should continue higher.
But how about we mark out the highs as well, though? To be fair, mark out the 2017 all-time high for Bitcoin to that bear market rally high, and then mark
this
out.
one?
Yeah. So mark that out.
Yeah.
And then mark it out for SPX as well. So it's like there was at the time, I mean, you can see the difference, right? Bitcoin was compressing or coiling, and the SPX was expanding in a broadening wedge.
Yeah, that's a fair point too. Yeah, this is a good point, to be honest, because like you can see that these two had like you can closely say that number just go up, right? Because they both had their patterns, but moved relatively at the same times.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we've been going for about 2 hours. I think I'm going to call it here, unless anybody has anything.
Wait. Look at this pullback, right? So this is pretty interesting. So BTC starts pulling back first and does its pullback pretty quick. It's done by August, and then look at what SPX has done. It started to pull back, and it was still pulling back while BTC was already going high, right? And then you get a follow-up, but then SPX catches up.
Mm-hmm.
You see that?
Yeah. There's a lot of hidden alpha with just looking at these higher time frame charts comparing asset classes.
Yeah.
A lot of signal.
Man, and this support will,
yeah,
in my opinion, we retest it not so far away from now. Maybe like we first hit all-time high, but this is going to be such a strong support.
So you think maybe all-time high and then retest the blue box and then a huge push up from there, and then just like even higher,
Could be,
Yeah, I could see that.
Who knows? Man, there's lots of to think about from today for me.
Yep.
Oof, oof.
All right. Well, we're going to call it here, guys. We've been going for about 2 hours. Got to call it here. Guys, thank you so much for being here. As always, just a quick reminder, please like, and also if you have not yet subscribed, this is Market Check brought to you by Because Bitcoin. We are live Monday through Friday at 10:50 a.m. Eastern time with this full cast right here. We talk narratives, we talk TA, talk fundamentals. We generally just have fun, and it's a 2-hour alpha dump. Now, if you haven't yet, consider joining our Discord. It is the first link in the description below, becausebitcoin.com/premium. It will take you to our website where you can sign up for our Discord. We are no longer offering free trials, but I do have good news for you. The price is going to go up significantly next year as we roll out our new products, specifically the BB terminal, which is effectively going to be a Bloomberg terminal, but for crypto, which everybody in our Discord will have access to. Now, it's a state-of-the-art product. We've been working on it for a long time, spending a lot of money, and we have some serious high hopes for BB Terminal. So again, if you join our Discord right now, which is $149.99 per month, you will be grandfathered into this current price as long as you do not cancel your membership. And again, the membership next year is going to go up significantly. So if you enjoy the show, if you like the TA, if you like the discussions, and you want more from the Because Bitcoin team, me, Tucker, Snorlax, Will, Jackus, and Wabi also go into a little bit further of our trading systems and styles. We have active positions channels where we share on a daily basis how we're actually executing and using this fundamental and technical analysis that you guys see here on YouTube to actually place bets and consistently pull money out of the market. So if you want to take your trading to the next level, I would highly recommend our Discord. And again, in Q1 to early Q2, we will be rolling out BB Terminal, which will be included in that membership, and the price is going to go up significantly. So if you want to be locked into that $149.99 per month, definitely get in before the BB Terminal drops, because prices will be increasing very much so. But anyways, I'm going to kick it over to Tommy, and he can say a final farewell. Oh, and just one more thing, guys. There is a Because Bitcoin giveaway, which wrapped up last week. We will be announcing on Twitter today who the lucky 5 winners are, who will share the pot of $1,000 in Bitcoin plus up to a year free in our Discord, which also will include in the near future BB Terminal. So I'm going to kick it over to Snorlax to say a final farewell.
Eloquent as always, Max. They are not ready for the BB Terminal. They are absolutely not. We're really excited about that. But yeah, no, like he said, we're also not running that absolute steal of a deal anymore, but that won't stop us from continuing to drop alpha on the daily, on every time frame. But thank you guys for watching today as we start our week. Bitcoin once again giving us an intriguing context to sift through, and of course, once again, equities are ripping. Make sure to tune in for Market Talk with King Wabi at 4:15 to 4:30 Eastern time. Starting time may slightly vary depending on how long our call with the Giga Chads runs in the afternoon. But yeah, no, make sure to tune in for commentary, engaging discussion on all things financial markets. It's always a great show. Wabi does a fantastic job, every afternoon with that, and he's been crushing the market too, guys. So, but yeah, that's all from us, guys. Happy Monday. Have a great rest of your week. We'll be back tomorrow, and thanks again for tuning in.